Channel 13.
It just starts in black and white.
Thank you very much, Jimmy. From the beginning, Muhammad Ali's career was marred by controversy, and who knows, it may have ended last Saturday in the very same way. From the beginning, he
First, we didn't know exactly what this was, but we've developed a theory. We feel that when citizens in your society were guilty of a crime against the state, they were forced to watch this.
Remember the way it began? March of 1964. That's where it really began.
Yes.
The Miami...
That's exactly what that was.
What is it?
It's a 200-year-old Volkswagen. They really built these things, didn't they?
Registered car means not guns. What's that mean?
What?
Registered car means not guns.
Oh, he was probably a member of the National Rifle Association. There was a group that helped criminals get guns so they could shoot citizens. It was a public service.
I don't see that.
It's the New York Times. Be careful. From 1990. Pope's wife gives birth to twins.
Hello and welcome to Ward 13 with special guest host me, Mike Gonzalez, aka Gonzo. I am an artist from Manchester, and normally this would be a live show, but given my history and I don't blame them, this is more of a let's say I am rebuilding my image with this show right here. So if you're watching this, I did it. I didn't screw up. So we have John on the phone, and hello, John, and he's going to be with us, and hopefully he lets me get a couple words in today. That'd be nice.
Yes, I'll be practicing my listening skills.
Yes. Is there? There might be a mute button. I could always just force it on it, but we're not going to get there. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. But anyway,
you'd probably hit the kill button.
Today's going to be kind of it's going to cover like my voyage as an artist during this situation. I like to walk here. I work at the Makerspace, is my art studio. It's near across the street from the Verizon, but the Civic Center. It's about a 10-minute walk, and I saw a lot of cool things. I saw, it's good to see like bookeries open. All these non-essentials. I can't think of anything more essential to Manchester than the bookery, though, to be honest. Like, it's good to see that stuff opening, And then, then you see other things, You see homeless people, and you see disrespectful homeless people. It's hard to get behind them. Sometimes I had this whole agenda to talk about, compassion and all this stuff, but then there's some jerks out there. They're kind of ruining it for everyone. And it's unfortunate. Because what they're doing is, it's hard to get behind an argument when you walk down the street and someone's being obnoxious to you. You know what I mean? So that was unfortunate.
No, I don't.
Well, I did. I saw someone, just being disrespectful. To a mother and a daughter walking down the street. They were at Ben and Jerry's, and they got harassed. And if I didn't have if I had more time, I would have stopped. I usually try to make a point to stick up for people, but you got to be careful when you do that. But I didn't like it. It kind of upset me. And then I ran into another homeless group right on Elm Street, Josh, and he was just totally respectful. Respects the whole social distancing. Wears a mask. Good for him. Because I don't know if people realize it, the mask isn't for you. And I wonder how many people would actually wear the mask if they knew it wasn't to protect themselves, to be honest. That's kind of my cynical nature to think that, though. But you wear the mask for other people.
So tell me, I haven't been downtown in a while. What is going on? You're talking about homeless people. Are they disrespectful?
Yeah.
Are they just crowding people, not respect social distancing?
Well, that's another thing. That happened to me at Rite Aid. Someone came up to me and started giving me their spiel, and I'm like, buddy, get it. I said, buddy, can you keep your distance from me? Like,
yeah.
I know you. I get it. I get what you're doing, but you can't be doing that. You don't come out. And then he still came closer. Finally, I said, "Get away from me!" And I just walked away. And he walked away once I shouted, but I shouldn't have to shout to make that happen. But these particular people, so shame on you, guy at Reddit. These particular people were in that little, I guess it's a bus stop. It's across from the hotel. It's got the Stone Manchester logo on it. It's across the street from the park. And it's like this little area that they kind of huddle in. And they're there, they're smoking their butts and they're cool. And then someone walks by and she's like, "Hey, nice pants." And like she made a comment about how they were white, and it was just very raunchy, let's just say that. And I was like, because I like a good dirty joke here and there, but when it's like that, you're making... So she started doing the quick walk, you know what I mean? Like, I just felt bad for her. And I wish I'd kind of said something to him, but maybe I'll say it on the way back. I don't know.
Wait a minute, the way I heard the story is that she made the comment to you wearing the white pants?
Yes.
Some street person say something to a woman.
Right, she gave me some cranberry juice. No.
What?
She was accosted. And it was
okay.
And he was with a woman too, and the woman was just as nasty as him. Like, she's like, yeah. So it's like, I got this whole agenda to get behind the homeless people because they really are people, and it sucks, and I am behind it, but like, that ain't cool, man. Like, that's the reason why people don't take me seriously when I try to do things, you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of unfortunate. So that's a little disheartening, I had a good talk with another group, though. Not really long, but just I don't know if you remember, I took him on the morning show with Peter White. His name is Josh. And it was a really touching moment. And so I kind of say what's up to him, when I see it, it's not like he's not right in front of everyone. He's literally on Elm Street. But he had some bad things to say about the station, to be honest. He was saying that he was...
About the radio station?
Yeah, he said he was listening, and someone made a call. He couldn't remember who. And he said that someone said that they just a pile of trash that moves from block to block or something like that. I don't know. He wasn't really...
That might have been...
He wasn't really speaking coherently. He was a little fired up, you know what I mean? But you could see that he was hurt by it, Which goes to show you got to be careful what you say, because people can really you can alter someone's future by one comment,
Oh, that might be the TV part of the station he's talking about.
I don't know, because I think that if you walk by it now, right before you get to Margaritas, you can hear the radio going on the Bose speakers, So I'm pretty sure he was listening to that. I doubt he has, Comcast Channel 23. He may. So I don't want to assume that. I mean, every homeless person has an iPhone nowadays, so who knows? But
yeah, that's true.
It is true. I remember when my phone was on the fritz and I was crossing the street and I didn't have a phone when I needed it, and every single homeless person had an iPhone out, and I'm like, wow, this is where I'm at right now. I got to get my phone on. But there are ways to get reception, Facebook Live, all that Facebook Messenger. All you need is some Wi-Fi, and you can, So, not opposed to them having phone. I just thought it was interesting how I didn't have one. And they're just like...
I just can't imagine anybody on either one of the radio stations. I mean, radio programs, Matt or Peter, or...
No, he said it was the Peter show. He said it was the morning show. So...
Really?
I don't know if it was taken out of context. I've been taken out of context many times, as you know. You say something that is part of the conversation now, and if you were to look at it, it would look like I'm just a complete insensitive jerk, but really it's taken out of context. So who knows? Maybe he wasn't really, maybe he tuned in at that one moment where someone made a joke. Maybe it was me that made the joke. I don't know. I doubt it, though.
Well, there is one person that is a regular that does criticize the homeless, but let's not be negative.
Right. Well, what do you think? I mean, it must really be tough to be homeless now. I mean, with the corona, you can't exactly go into a homeless shelter and feel comfortable about it. So you see a lot of people bearing the elements right now. You actually, if you drive down, what is that, Canal Street maybe?
Yeah.
Commercial. You see like a little camp forming, don't you? Like with fence around it. It's pretty, it's growing too. It's growing.
Didn't the city establish certain things like toilets and tried to establish a homeless camp because they don't want people that might have COVID spreading the infection if they do have it?
I don't know about that, but that makes sense to me because really and I think anybody would agree, even the conservatives would say that, well, yeah, I'm not trying to encourage homelessness and coming on the street, but at the same time, they got to go to the bathroom and, might as well have a toilet to go in that's not, the street.
Well, the conservatives, in fact, are highly critical of the homeless. And there's one member of the wrecking crew that goes around and tapes them and spreads stories about somebody that wasn't even on drugs. I guess somebody had a epileptic fit, and this person said that they were on dope or something. But what's a homeless person going to do?
Well, you got to sell a sizzle. Like I'm sure that individual JKL would have said something along the line, because when you believe in something, you kind of sell it a little more. So maybe he was just getting that. He has an agenda. He's clearly got an agenda, and I can see his points. I can see his points too.
in Los
Taping them is not
Angeles,
cool. I don't think he
no
does that anymore, though, John.
more-
I don't think he tapes people
In Los,
anymore.
well, I don't know what you're talking about now. In Los Angeles, they dump. They used to dump elderly and poor people right down in
Skid Row, right?
Skid Row.
Yeah.
They just dumped them. It was a scandal, and I can imagine that there were people that had Alzheimer's or just wandering around in their hospital johnnies. So I'm sure there are people that are homeless for many reasons. There are people that, mentally ill.
Of course, there's
people
plenty of
that,
reasons.
th-
That's
people
probably
that
what people are
always
worried
live-
about. I bet you that's the
Ralph.
first thing they think about when they see these cans forming, though. Oh, my God. Are we going to have a Skid Row on our hands? I bet you that's the first thing they think about because it makes sense. But what you got to do is you got to take a step back, look at it as a whole, and why are they there? It's to protect you. If you have a problem with it and you want to shut their camp down, think about what will happen if you do that. You want to have people come in and kick them out of there. Yeah, I don't know if you want that. I really don't. I think we all got to
One of
make
the
a lot of
reasons-
concessions to get through this time right now,
One of the reasons is a homeless population. When I went to university back 40 years ago, I lived in a $130 a month room. They were called single-room only hotels. They had them in Boston, New York, any city. Manchester must have had them. They were, not very nice places, but you had four walls around you. I didn't have any money. I had to at university when I was going to school, so I was living at Beacon Hill, which used to have a little Skid Row, and I lived on it. But those places are gone. Look at the rents in Manchester, Where are people going to stay? In the old days, there used to be these single room only hotels, they'd call them, where you could actually have one room, not very nice, but it kept your body and soul together. That's all gone,
Well, it's not all gone. I mean, you look at the Cadillac, come for a night or come for a lifetime, right?
For a life.
It's like,
That used to be, when I was a little kid, a decent place. Well, I'm not going to say anything negative about it now, but, things change.
it's on my bucket list to spend a night there. Maybe on my birthday I'm going to get a room at the Cadillac. But then again, that might be the bucket reason. I might die there too, so who knows?
Why, you plan on ending up in Skid Row?
No, but I just always wanted to stay at the Cadillac Motel once. I guess I'm not veering away from that. That's not really one of my desires anymore, but...
Oh, man. I remember the East Bay across from San Francisco around the year 2000. There used to be these, hotels, and, you'd stay at one not knowing that everybody in there was a crackhead or dealing dope or something.
Well, if you stayed there, that would make you a crackhead because you said everybody. So, see how you generalize there?
And interestingly, they were all like white rednecks. I don't know. The Bay Area used to have used to be more diverse back when I was there 20, 30 years ago, in the sense that there were poor people from everywhere, white, black, everything. But when you lose your job or you're in hard times, what are you going to do? For a lot of people, the social safety net, I'm not saying it's non-existent, but it's not really that effective for a lot of people.
Well, that's the thing. Like, a lot of friends of mine, if they didn't come from good homes, they'd be right where they are. I mean, when you're ass out, you are ass out, and you got nowhere to go. What do you do? What do you do? You sleep on a bench that night. Then that bench becomes more comfortable, and then you start meeting a couple other guys that have a bench. Oh, hey, I got this place over here, and then you just become part of the community, and then before you know it, you're a homeless person. I walked by a football teammate of mine, and he's like, "Hey, Gonzo." I'm like, "Who's that?" He's like, "Yeah, blah blah blah." I'm like, "Oh my God, how you doing?" He's like, how you doing? He's like, not so great. I'm homeless. Right out front, just said it. And it made me like feel bad, you know. I think he wanted some money. I didn't have any at the time, so I didn't give him any. But I still remember it. It made an impression. Like anybody, and he came from a good family. His family must have just turned their back on him, I would assume, because they had good money. There's no way in a million years I would expect that guy to be homeless. And it's probably stubborn on his part, or they're just like sick of his antics. You know what I mean? Like,
It happens to a lot of people.
But I think that safety net, as you called it, is literally the only reason why there's not 8 times more homeless people. If you look at most homeless people, they don't have that uncle to call. And if they did,
That's true.
it might help them. You know, I think the key to getting off the streets isn't recovery and all that stuff. It's literally getting them in touch with their mom. That, you know.
Some people don't have mothers. Some people don't have fathers.
Right. And
A lot of people don't.
some people do, though, and, you know, that first phone call, that grudge, that 20-year grudge, it's amazing how many times I've been in a fight with someone and I swallowed my pride, bit the bullet, and called them, and before you know it, we're just making inside jokes again. Like, it's nothing. It's the hard part is that call, but once you make it, I feel like you can mend that relationship, you know. But there are people without that option. You're right. Now, what do you do? What do you do? You build a camp so they can go to the bathroom, and I mean, this should be like right up the Wrecking Crew's alley. What they're doing, they're literally segregating them now.
Well, it's interesting that if you go back to the year 2000, 2 of the senior members of the Wrecking Crew recommended we had a homeless problem back then. That's when Louis Craig, the former police chief, was the head, I think, of the shelter, the one that Charlie Sherman later took over years later.
Mm-hmm.
And they mentioned they used the armory to put people in, the New Hampshire Armory. But, you know, they were more compassionate back then. But
Well,
I wouldn't say that either one of them is probably uncompassionate, but I think politics, as you said, probably drives some of the response. You know what I mean? Particularly with one, not the other. I went to school with Keith Hirschman, and he's the one that's not the other, if you know what I mean.
Oh, I know what you mean.
I don't think Keith's baiting people.
But the thing about the homeless shelters is, what do you do? What do you do right now? What do you do if you're homeless? And you can't walk into that. You can. Is there social distancing there? Maybe. But are there...
I think isn't it closed?
I don't know. I'm not opposed to closing it, too. I mean, it sounds like, oh, yeah, you could close it on, but, yeah, just like everything being closed, I think, you know what I worry about? I worry about Salem. I worry about Salem, New Hampshire.
Yeah.
I worry about that there's literally 5,000 cases in Mass. 80,000 people in Mass, 3,000 in New Hampshire. And where do you think, like, you want to buy a couch? Because Bob's Furniture is open today. You want to go buy a couch? All you do is pick it up in New Hampshire, and you're going to save $800 if you're buying a whole house full of stuff. Don't think that they don't do that. Don't think that Salem is legitimately the floodgate to Manchester, and it's scary. And I wish, you know what I wish we would do? I wish we would get rid of the sales tax. I would be willing to pay sales tax to have no people come in. Because when you have 80,000 people confirmed, let's not talk about the people that haven't even gone in for fear of whatever. You're talking about those people, like, what was a blessing to New Hampshire was, that's great, bring them in, come on in, let's go, we'll sell to you all day long, is now our curse. It really is. And I know it sounds bold and it probably isn't even legal to do or whatever, but getting rid of sales tax would get rid of extra people, I think. You know?
You mean having a sales tax?
That's what I mean, getting rid of the incentive to come in and have no sales tax. Because
Well, sales
that
taxes
really is the key.
suck. I lived in states that have like 9.5%.
I mean,
How
we
about an
have
income tax?
we have
That's
133 people that have died in New Hampshire. Now that's a big number. 5,000 in Mass. Now I realize they're bigger. I'm not like taking that into account. I am, but that is alarming. What a different rate that is. Now you're talking all those people so close, man. Now what brings Massachusetts people to New Hampshire? Why do you think that number is so despairingly? Because they haven't been here. Why haven't they been here? There's no incentive, right? You have incentive to come into Manchester or Salem, whatever, Nashua. Now they're here. They're mingling. And I used to sell furniture at Bob's Furniture. That is not a quick, hey, have a nice day. That's a 30 to an hour minute conversation that you have at close quarters.
Yeah.
And, you know, they say it takes like 1,000 particles to catch the corona, to get infected. So you can get that by someone sneezing in your face. You can rub your eyes and get it. Or you can breathe in 110 different times from the same person. So that's why family members are the most likely to give it to other family members, because you're breathing in you're watching a movie. These people that come down and sit down and buy a car, or they buy a piece of furniture, they're sitting from me to right here, and you talk. You have to. You type in it. Some things are just open too early, but I get the concept. Get open, but I don't think we'd have as many problems if we got rid of that incentive, that no sales tax incentive. Because who wouldn't drive 20 minutes to save $800? You know?
Yeah, I know. I often, when I was living in California, I often wished that, like 25 minutes away, there was a state with no sales tax where you could go buy stuff, like when you live in Massachusetts.
Or liquor on a Sunday. They can come in and buy liquor on a Sunday. Now, they've always been able to do that because it's an essential, which, you know.
When I lived in New York, where I bought my liquor.
John, where didn't you live, by the way? You just rattled off 18 states. But go ahead, sorry.
I've lived in New York. I've lived in New York City and Knott's Ferry.
Oh, sorry, sorry, everybody.
Which is next to the Tappan Zee Bridge. And Massachusetts, I lived in Boston and Cambridge. California, I lived in mostly the Bay Area.
That was more like an antidote, not a question.
Monterey Bay in L.A.
What do you think about face mask shamers there, John? People, for instance, who will look at someone without a face mask and like give them a look, like a passive-aggressive look.
Why not, huh?
Because I'm gonna give you an answer that you might not expect. Shame away. I say shame away. Put your damn mask on, guys. Because just because you're feeling good, yeah, great. Everybody's feeling good. In fact, 80% of the people who get it are feeling, the 24-hour corona bug, or they got that asymptomatic, which you're 25%. So you roll the dice, you get a 2 or a 4, you're good. Think about that. So how selfish is it to not wear a mask? Just wear the mask. And if someone shames you, hey, you might be saving someone's life. Now, I'm not a bully, but I will definitely say to someone, hey, where's your mask? I'll look at him, where's your mask, huh? You want one of mine? I'll take mine off and I'll put it on. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, let's just back up a second, then we'll go back to that. As I have Dartmouth Hitchcock calling me, but I can't take the call.
We're going to talk about your days at the Tappan Zee Bridge again? Or?
No. I just wanted to clarify that the homeless shelter is open, and they've opened up a second one, but a lot of the homeless people in Manchester don't trust it. They don't want to be, understandably, because of the fear of COVID-19 infection, they don't want to go into shelters. So under the guidance of the state, they are supervising homeless camps, including sites that had been closed down.
Bravo.
Like the city of Manchester has provided toilets. And, hey, let's see if we can get... I'm getting a call from Pebble Beach, California, which I'd normally take. But I tell it's that 3-hour difference.
That's why we have a map behind me, so we can point out all the different places you're going to mention. I haven't covered Texas yet, but...
Okay,
John, would you walk into a
thing.
homeless shelter? Now, granted, they do great work, but
I live in a car.
you can
I
see
would
their
live in a
you can
car
see their
before you
concerns,
go.
and bravo to Manchester for doing that. Like, we have to do things that are different now, and we can get over it. We can adjust. Nothing's permanent. Look, I don't walk around like a bank robber every day of my life, but right now I get to do that. You know, I got double bandana, one for the nose, one for the mouth. Boom, I get to be a bank robber today. This isn't permanent, so just be a bank robber and deal with it. You know.
I like wearing a mask. I use a woodworker's mask. It's not an N95 because those were too expensive, so I never bought them. I like it hides my double or triple chin. You know, now that I'm 60, I have some sagging. It hides my jowls.
I want to make masks
Only,
that have
if,
interchangeable pieces, like a Mr. Potato Head mask, where you put the mouth on, and if you're happy that day, you put a smiley face, smile, and you put like little eyes, you know. And if you're like impaired somehow, you put little slinty eyes. You're like, yeah, you know what I mean? So people know where you're coming from, you know.
that's a good idea. You should do that as an
I know.
art project.
And if you don't want to talk to anyone, you just literally put a zipper on it.
But I just want to end up the homeless thing with two things. I just remembered that every year around spring, there is a vigil for homeless kids, because so many of the homeless are kids, just teenagers, kids that haven't even graduated from high school. I've gone with Joyce Craig there. Jimmy LaHoo is always there. Chris Pappas, people like that. And I was wondering if we didn't have it this year. But when you're thinking about the homeless people, a lot of people, like kids, are desperate. And, you should have compassion. I think it's a good thing that you show that. And I just want to end this conversation with a quote from the Nobel Prize winner for literature, Anatole France, who famously said, "The law, in its majestic equality, forbids rich and poor alike to sleep under bridges, to beg in the street, and to steal their bread."
You know what? That's a good quote. You know what? Homeless people are more compassionate and generous with their little possessions than a lot of people are. That's another reason why they probably spread so much, the virus, because they're so sharing. Everyone gives, except for that jerk on the street today. But
we don't think of it as that way, but they do. There is a sense of community amongst the people. I once asked a woman, why would you want to live here in New Hampshire? You could go south, She said, but my family and people I know are here. I grew up here. And I wasn't thinking of that.
That kind of sums it up, because family is kind of out of the picture for a lot of them. So their acquaintance and friends become family. And the reason that is because you rely on each other. Now, maybe it's to get high, but also maybe you mentioned these children. You think these children aren't getting, like it says, it takes a village. You think these people aren't pitching in what they can for the kids? Like I always had a kind of a stance why do you care? Like people begging on the street. Look at that guy. That is a joke. There's homeless people that are lazy and don't do that. At least that guy is doing something with his day. And I guarantee you that money that he makes ain't going all in his pocket or his arm, or some of it may, but a lot of it is going to get dispersed between the community. The guy who can't stand for 10 hours straight, that trips in a different way. Maybe he builds the fire. Maybe he's the fire guy. You know, maybe there's another one that scrubs dishes. Everyone has a role. So if standing on the corner is your role because you're able-bodied, that guy ain't keeping it all. It's getting spread out. And there's a whole underbelly that we have no idea. And I spend a lot of time talking to them, but I have no idea. They ain't telling me the secrets. There's only one way to get the secrets, and it's to do it, you know, and that's not something I want to do, you know, but...
Some people live on the street because it gives them freedom.
It's a good point, too. You're absolutely right. A certain freedom that you can't even have in an apartment or anything, like...
Yeah. Well, Jesus said, judge not, lest ye be judged. How important do you think it is when considering people that are homeless or even people that don't wear masks, that you have to put yourself in their shoes to understand them?
It's hard to explain that. So the way I can explain putting yourself in someone's shoes, like someone goes around, say I have a backache. I'm like, oh, my back's killing me. You're going to get the old, oh, yeah, that sucks. They don't care. They really don't care. Now, John, if me and you were in a car accident together and we just experienced the same injury, right? We both had rods in our back now, and we're both the exact same symptoms from that same exact car accident. When I tell you my back hurts, you're going to kind of hit me with, well, you know what? Try this lotion. It works for me. Like, you actually do care. It's hard to put yourself in someone's shoes because you're not affected by it. It's hard to wear a mask when you're feeling great because you don't believe in it. You're like, whatever. But the second your mother is dying, you're going to start to wear the mask. And what took you so long? I was a little like, I don't want to wear a mask. When I spray paint, I didn't really wear a mask because I didn't like the way it looked. But now you gotta wear it because you're just being a jerk and get to look like a bank robber.
Oh my God! Volatile organic chemicals can really nail you.
When can you walk into Rite Aid just being like, you know, do that 3 months ago?
Number, we'll have 2 subjects. We got about 10 minutes left.
Well, I'd like to cover Rite Aid real quick.
Yeah, you wear. Well, we'll get to that at towards the end. But
all right. I think it's important information, though, that should get out. But your turn. Let's talk about San Francisco.
You're wearing a double mask because you're the father of a young child. So people wear masks, not necessarily for yourself, but to protect other people. Do you agree?
I agree. And I'm one of those people that, you know, if I was to catch it, I probably would be asymptomatic because I'm just that awesome. But I'm not trying to bring it back home, though. So... yeah. My kid's turning 1. It's been a year, and I can't imagine it being any different. Like that year, they say it flies by. I say no, it doesn't. It goes by really slow, and it's very hard. And all you first-time fathers, maybe Ben Diane's going through this right now. You realize
he's second time.
This ain't easy, brah. This ain't easy. And you try to keep your own personality. You try to, you know, be like, I'm an artist, gotta get out and I do my art and all that.
Yeah.
But really, you can't have your phone ever die on you. You can't. It's just your life is upside down. And he just took his first steps the other day, so that was cool.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was nice. It was a good moment, you know. I had it, and it was a good moment. It makes you really realize, like, this is cool. But the work you put in, don't think, guys, that you're just gonna fly by it. It's not. It's a lot of work, and you gotta humble yourself. You gotta make some concessions. You gotta do dishes. You gotta do all this stuff that you normally wouldn't think of, like, but you gotta clean the bottles. You gotta do your thing, you know. So
you gotta change the diapers.
No, not me.
Oh, come on.
That's where I draw the line. My kid doesn't poop in front of me, though. He's like a girlfriend.
Oh, so, your wife did she just have her first Mother's Day?
She did. It was nice. It was a great day. Yeah. we got I got some balloons and chocolate and all that crap, and then I had the baby carry it
What
all.
did she get?
So that way it looked like it was overloaded, and we gave it to her, and she cried. It was a nice moment. It was a good day. I found
I
myself.
thought you got the chocolate.
No, I'm a guy. Yeah. So she's the mom. I had my Father's Day like first 2 weeks into it.
Now Father's Day is not like Mother's Day.
But I would like to say how much I am impressed by Michelle turning from a wife to a mother. I mean, she has mom written all over her now. The instincts that, geez, I feel bad for any single parent out there because you need help. Not only do you need help, if I didn't have my grandparents, I'd be screwed. Like, so grandparent, I mean, this is just one baby. Now,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, you put things in perspective. Talk about putting yourself in other shoes. Like, when you see a kid screaming at the grocery store, don't get annoyed. Like a lot of people, oh my God, he just lets his kid do that. Well, the kid's doing it, jerk. The kid is doing it. Like when a little girl taps on a desk and like the host yells at her. Like that's just rude. You know what I mean?
No, I didn't have the privilege of being a father, and kids' brats drive me crazy.
Yeah.
But I always wanted to be a father.
Like when I brought Brooke in and you couldn't stand it.
I'm just not used to it.
No, but
I have three
she's a little
nieces that
unruly.
were,
She has ADD though, so it's not her fault.
I had three nieces that were angels, so I'm not used to a kid that.
Every kid's an angel
full of
except to their
energy.
parents. Ask any parent out there with the perfect kid. That kid's perfect to the teacher. He gets home and he's like, I hate you, Daddy.
Hey, wait till your kids gang up with the grandparents to give it to you. Because they're natural allies, grandparents and kids, you know?
Yeah, well, my kid's not joining a gang, so we'll get off that. But can I mention Rite Aid real quick? Not only do they make these fine T-shirts, but they're doing testing now at the drive-thru, which I looked into a little bit. It's pretty cool. It takes you 7 days to get your results. That's kind of the downfall.
7 days? I thought you get it the next day.
No, they send it to a lab.
Well, why
But it's
did
free.
you explain to the
It's free and you don't need a
audience
reason.
why I'm not
You can
sitting
self-swab.
there with you like we planned, and why I'm calling in.
Well, real quick, hold on. They self-swab, so you do it yourself. They got a guy watching you. All you need is your ID. You need to go to riteaid.com and pre-register, and they do it from 10 to 8 weekdays, and it's
Free?
free of cost. Yeah. So what that's gonna do? What that's gonna do is it's gonna give you knowledge. So that's key. Like a lot of people think, oh, I got the corona. Yeah. Like you can't even walk around and be like you can't sniffle. You get sniffle shamed. You cough. You're like, it's not the corona. I swear to God, it's just a sniffle. Well, how do you know, bro? You don't know. Go to Rite Aid and prove it. That's what I would say.
Okay, God, so you got to calm down now.
Rite Aid for life. No, I think it's a cool thing. I think that's the future too. I think there's going to be testing way more prevalent. I think there's going to be home testing. You're going to see you just get to see it everywhere, and that's got to be the only way to do it. I think. But,
why?
well, because you have to kind of know who has it, and when you have it, you gotta be responsible. Get the hell out of there. You can't be going out and about.
Home testing?
You can't be going out and about willy-nilly.
Gonzo.
What?
We all have to go out and about.
No, you can't be out and about. All right, okay, John. If you knew for a fact that you have the coronavirus, are you gonna go out willy-nilly?
Now, Gonzo.
The answer would be no, I would assume. So you're weeding out. You're gonna take away a lot of the people who are asymptomatic out of the mix, out of the, So testing's key. That's why they're doing it.
I'll ask you a question once again. Why aren't I there with you?
Because you're getting your. See, I was gonna say a joke, but I want to prove myself to people. I was gonna say you're getting a different kind of test, with 3 letters in it, but I'm not gonna. You're getting the Corona COVID-19 test, aren't you?
Yes, up in Concord at one of the state's clinics.
Yeah, and I talked you into it
And
so I could steal your spot today.
No, you didn't talk me. You talked me into doing the show because I was going to cancel.
Yeah, no canceling on Gonzo.
But I have at least one symptom. It might just be related to asthma.
So did you take it?
Shortness of breath.
Did you take it?
No, it's going to be tomorrow at 1:30. It's a 48-hour turnaround, but with me it's 24 hours.
Well, you're in that age group that you got to really be careful,
60. Yeah, and I'm taking it because I don't want to expose anybody I know. I have family members that are close to, in their middle to late 60s. So.
No, that's a responsible. Like you said that today. Like I don't want to go in there with you having a baby at home, and no, I appreciate that. And my answer was like, well, all right, bummer, but whatever, it is what it is, And then we worked it out. But to be honest, other people don't really think like that. They're like,
everybody should.
Until they walk up the stairs and like, I can't breathe. Oh my God, get me someone. Now it's okay. Now it's you. Now you give a care. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, I've been having shortness of breath.
Oh, so you're one of those people, basically. So you weren't really caring about your family until you were short of breath.
Well, you just don't go in,
You don't think about it. Like, I'm not going to think about cystic fibrosis because I'm not thinking about it. But if I had it, I'd be talking about it. It's like, it's one of the things, like, it's our human nature to kind of blind ourselves from the world.
Isn't going around. In the old days, before my people that are 70 or older, polio used to come around every summer. They used to have to shut the pools, the swimming pools. They'd shut all sorts of like public entertainments that kids went to. And every year up until like the mid 50s or late 50s, so people that are well into their 70s, that used to be an annual event. In fact, Philip Roth, the great American novelist, actually wrote one of his later novels, took place during like 1938 during a polio summer. So it's, this thing has killed, 85,000 people. It's not the Chinese flu. It's something
China
deadlier than the flu.
Dude, I'll tell you what.
But
they need the shock hunts pool again because last summer was atrocious. They found a dookie in the pool.
Okay, I guess we've had plenty of time.
It's a good way to end.
We're closing in. You have 2 minutes to give us your last thought.
All right, yeah.
You're getting unruly now.
Yeah, I would say that Panucci's needs to calm down. I saw the guy wiping his tables the other day. They're not opening till Monday, and they're only allowed 25% of the people. I bet you most restaurants aren't going to even open. Why would you open to 25%? Let's just wait this out, get some information. I get you were eager, Truck. I get it. But don't wipe down the tables already. That's it.
They're Chuck at Panucci's is
wiping down the tables.
Because this is their livelihood.
Yeah, it's Wednesday, dude.
You're getting ready.
Getting ready. Hit the ground running. But I like Chuck. And I if I was a business owner, I might be able to put myself in his shoes. So shame on me. At least he was wearing a mask.
People, that small business fund turned out to be small businesses. It's like J.P. Morgan put these huge multinational corporations. They put their individual units in for these loans, and it all got sucked up.
Yeah, well, that
money was actually money for banks.
Yeah, TGI Fridays did that too. It's like, come on, dude. But I don't know. It's just all I do know is that we don't know. We all have opinions, and everybody has an opinion. You think it's the word of that's it. That's why people argue so adamantly, but we don't know. And my message would be to just have an open mind, put yourself in someone's shoes. And if you want to talk to me, go to my Facebook page, Mike Gonzalez. I'm right in Manchester. I'll talk to anybody. So.
As long as we open up very cautiously and with a lot of discipline, you can see what happens. But I was just told that in Tennessee, it's already the infections have gone up a week after they opened up, and they opened up, like a red state will open up, like who cares?
Well, you need the Georgias in the world to kind of. I'm glad I ain't in Georgia, but it is nice though. Nice to know though, how's that Waffle House situation in Georgia going? Because I don't want to sit in it, but I'm gonna look at you and see if you get it. Unfortunately, it is kind of like we need that stuff. So it's information.
I love the Waffle House.
You know what I mean? Like someone's sitting there cranking butts, having a pancake right now. That's either gonna get it or not get it, and I'd like to know if they get it or not.
Oh yeah. Well, we just we've got to get out there and do things. Or we're going to have the worst depression since the 1930s, where they called them Hooverville.
Not me. I got that unemployment art money. You know what I'm saying? I'm making more money now than I make on my paintings, which is scary.
Uh-oh.
This is what you're going to see a lot of people not going back to work now. Like, whoa, I don't make what I'm making now going back to work, so I'm good. Like you can see that. That's what you're going to see.
I'm never going to blame working people for getting their extra fill-up for workers' compensation, because a lot of their jobs they're not going back to.
But for the first time, sole proprietors can collect, and I'll tell you what, if they want to feed the economy, I'm the guy to do it. I get that check, I go right to Walmart, I'm cashing it, and I'm spreading it. I'm spreading money into the underground world. I'm spreading money to anything. Amazon, I'd blow my money, and that's what they probably want. I guarantee that's what they're looking for. So give me some.
God knows what they want. They're politicians.
I need art supplies. Thanks, Trump.
Let's not talk about that. Hey, thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, that did go by fast.
Come back next week.
Thanks for having me on. Brandon. And Brandon's a great artist too. I just saw your alien thing.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty cool. I like that. I like that stuff. I like that font. I like that format. That clip art type of thing. I like that. It's clean. It's clean look. But yeah, check them out.
I'll have to work on the documentary about you have some new artwork, and we'll try to put some of that on next week.
Yeah, I do. I try to not really talk about that stuff because that kind of happens organically, but I don't like to push stuff on people. But yes, I've been making some great stuff, and I've had the opportunity to do it. So.
Okay, we got to sign off now because of the switchover. They got to sanitize the studio. So.
All right. Well, I'm going back to bank robber mode.
Yeah. Take
Bye.
care, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah. Bye.